Hello guys, welcome back to your CCNA 200-301, and this is your lesson 9. And in this lesson, we're going to discuss communication between two networks. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't already liked this video. And also don't forget to share this video with your friends and also subscribe. Thank you very much. So in this lesson, we're going to discuss how to communicate between two devices or two networks. So let's assume that you have a company premise that has two different networks or two different parts or departments. They are all housed in the same building. So we have maybe HR, and then we have maybe the other guys from finance. So assuming your HR guys are on the network 10.0.0, and then your finance guys are on the network 20.0.0. The idea of networking is, so basically, you need to have a local area network for each of your networks. So for your HR network, you need a switch, connect your PCs to the switch. So it could be, doesn't matter how many PCs you would want to add. So let's assume this is our first network, the 10.0 network. Yeah, so I'll say 10.0 network. So 10.0.0.0 network. Yeah, and this machine will be 10.0.0.1, and this will be 10.0.0.2. This will be 10.0.0.3. This is our first network. So for some reasons, we have the first network as our HR department, so HR. And we also have another network called um, finance. So that's a different network. So finance, even though they are all in the same building. So finance guys will have 20. Yeah, so that's what the finance guys will be having, the 20 network. So I'll say finance network 20.0.0.0. I'm going to give this guy 20.0.0.1, 20.0.0.2, 20.0.0.3. And from our previous sessions, we mentioned that you have to assign all these IP addresses to the machine. So I'll go on the first machine, I'll assign 10.0.0.1. The default subnet mask, which is 255.0.0.0, which is the subnet mask for that, is fine. I'll go on the second PC, I go to desktop, I go to IP configuration, and then I'll put the IP address 10.0.0.2. Move on to the next one. By default, it has a subnet mask. The same thing for this guy, desktop. Then I'll do 10.0.0, sorry, 10.0.0.3, and the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. So if I would want to test this, I'll just go to command prompt, and first off, I'll do IP config just to see whether this machine has an IP address. It does have an IP address. And the next thing I would want to do is to ping any other person on this network. So I'll ping this guy. So 10.0.0.2, and it can ping. So if I try to ping, say 10.0.0.3, that also can ping. And that is basically what trying to ensure that anybody in your network can communicate with any other person in the network. Um, so that's for the HR network. They are all in the same building, maybe different floors. Then I go on to this guy's 20.0.0.1 with the subnet mask. Close that. This will be 20.0.0.2 with the subnet mask. Yeah. And then I'll do 20.0.0.3. 20.0.0.3 with a subnet mask. And basically, if I try to ping within the network, so I'll say IP config just to test check whether there is an IP address configured on this device, which is possible, and we can all see that there is an IP address that's 20.0.0.1. So I'm going to ping 20.0.0.2, trying to talk to this guy. So this guy is trying to talk to this guy. If I ping that, it's saying reply from 20.0.0.2. Basically, what's happening is when this guy sends a message to test whether this guy is active, this guy replies that with the ping reply or the echo message. And this is how you test connectivity. The only thing we have in is it possible for the 10 network to be able to communicate with the 20 network? So let's see. If I decide to ping from the 10 network, I'll say 20.0.0.1. So I'm on this PC. I want to ping this PC. If I do that, it's just going to tell me that the destination cannot be reached. And this is just because the destination is not on the same network as us. So if the underlying concept here is that anytime you want to communicate with somebody who is in a different network, you need the help of a router or a default gateway. What do I mean? It's just like you moving from your building from your house to another house. The first thing you need to do is to go through a door, or there should be an exit point, and that exit point here is a router. So we need a router. So I go here, I pick the second router, I put that here, and I pick my cable, I connect that here. So basically, this is just saying that I need to be able to get outside of my building. This is the door to your building. This is the gate to the outside of your building. I do the same thing for this side, and I connect that. Now, what I would have to do is, because on a switch, every device connected to a switch means that that device is in the same network as everyone connected to it. So this is 10.01, 10.02, 10.03. So this interface on the router should also have an IP address. We don't put IP addresses on the switches by default. We'll talk about that in subsequent videos. But for now, we don't have to put any IP address on the switch. We just put it on the PCs and on the router. So before I do that, I just have to document it and say this particular interface, which is 10.0.0. Maybe 10. That's the IP address I want to give on this interface. And every interface on a router is in a different network. So this will be in the 10 network because this is connected to this switch. This will be in the 20 network because this switch has only 20s. So this particular guy, because it's connected to that switch, will also be 20. So basically, I'll just say maybe 20.0.0.10 because it's not been taken yet by any device. Now, I would have to assign this IP address to this device. I'll go on here and then I'll go to config. I go to the interface which says F0/0, meaning fast Ethernet 0/0. I click on that. And then I'll put this IP address there. I'll say 10.0.0.10. And the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. On routers, you have to make sure that this interface is turned on because by default it is off. And for you to do that, you have to check this box saying on, and that's it. The interface is now on, and that's why it's turned green. We give it a little time, and this link will be active for some kind of possibility to send information through this link. So I'll close this. It's the same router, but I just have to do that. Go on this interface F0/1, and that is going to be for 20.0.0.10. So I'll say F0/1, 20.0.0.10. Subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. I check the box. So basically, these links are all turning green. And let's see whether I can ping this guy's 20, because I mentioned earlier on that in order for you to be able to communicate with someone outside your network, you need a router. We've done that. So let's see. So we're pinging the 20 network again, 20.0.0.1. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure that will work. I don't know. Let's see. So it's saying request timeout. Let's see. Let's give it some few minutes or a few seconds. Next try saying request timeout because for some reason, this device, this is what's happening. Your device, which is the PC, is trying to send information and it sends it to the switch, and the switch doesn't know where to send it to, or it asks the switch, do you know about 20.0.0.1? It realizes that the PC realizes that, oh, this number is not sitting in my network, because for each PC, you have your IP address and then you have your subnet mask. So the calculation done for your network address by the PC says that your network address is 10.0.0.0, and the machine you want to ping is having 20.0.0.1. So the PC will realize that these two IP addresses are not in the same network. And the only way to send it is to look for a default gateway. When we talk about a default gateway, we're talking about someone who will be able to take us to the outside world. Like, you need to know the door to your building. But on these devices, you didn't configure your default gateway. So you have to go on to the IP configuration, and then here you have to tell your device that if whoever you want to ping is not in my network, I want you to send to the router, and the router will be able to send it. So the IP address of the router is the default gateway. So this is 10.0.0.1. We do the same for all the PCs here. So 10.0.0.10, sorry, not 1. We do it for the last PC, 10.0.0.10. That's done. So still we have to do on this side. They also have their own default gateway, which is this side. So we'll put the 20.0.0.10 there. So we'll say 20.0.0.10. For this guy, we'll do 20.0.0.10 here. That's for this PC. And for the last one, we'll also do for the default gateway 20.0.0.10. And that'll be for the last one. So let's see whether we can ping. So this time around, we're going to try again. We're not able to ping this guy. So we'll say ping 20.0.0.1. And this time around, let's see what happens. It's looking for who our default gateway is. And the first one says timed out, because at that point it's looking for who the person. It takes some time and all that. There's some mechanism behind it, but that will be for future videos. So now when we ping it, we can see that we get a reply from it. So the idea from this particular session is, first off, if you want to communicate with someone in a different network, the first thing you need to know is the fact that anybody in a different network can only be communicated to if we have a router to guide us. So communicating with someone outside a network, you can only do that with the help of a router. And also, in order for your device to also send the information to your router, you have to put in the IP address of your default gateway, which is more like the exit point from your network. So once you do that, and all the devices that are connected to your, this is just a scenario where you have a company that has two departments in the same building or are connected on the same router. So that's basically what this lab is about. If you have any question, don't forget to send that to me on YouTube. Send me a comment and I will also respond to your comments. And if you have any challenge, just let me know. And don't stop practicing. It's all about practice, 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 practice. And if you've not shared this video, please share this video. And please do me the favor by liking this video. And I still remain George Banfo. I'll catch you in the next lesson, and stay safe. Thank you very much.